I always had a fascination with abandoned places, the eerie silence, the decaying structures, and the stories they held within their walls. So when I heard about the abandoned asylum on the outskirts of town, I couldn't resist the urge to explore it. The stories surrounding the asylum were chilling. Rumors of patients being mistreated, experiments gone wrong, and the countless souls that still haunted its corridors. They warned that anyone who dared to step foot inside would never be the same. With a group of friends, we gathered our courage and decided to venture into the asylum one fateful night. As we approached the imposing building, a shiver ran down my spine. The moon was hidden behind dark clouds, casting an ominous shadow over the crumbling structure. We entered cautiously, our footsteps echoing through the empty hallways. The air was heavy with a musty smell, and the silence was suffocating. The flickering lights added to the eerie atmosphere, casting long shadows that danced along the walls. As we made our way deeper into the asylum, strange sounds began to echo around us. Whispers that seemed to come from nowhere, chilling laughter that sent shivers down our spines. Each step we took felt heavier, as if something unseen was trying to hold us back. Suddenly, a door slammed shut behind us, making us jump in terror. We turned around frantically, but there was no one there. Panic started to set in as we realized we were trapped. The asylum seemed to have a mind of its own, playing mean tricks on us. As we continued our exploration, we entered a room filled with old medical equipment. Rusty surgical tools were scattered across a blood-stained table, and a broken gurney stood in the corner. The air grew colder as we moved further into the room. Then, out of nowhere, a figure materialized before us. A scream escaped my lips as the ghostly figure lunged towards us. We stumbled backward, tripping over each other in our desperate attempt to get away. But the figure vanished as quickly as it appeared, leaving us trembling in fear. Shaken but determined, we pressed on. The asylum seemed to grow darker with every step we took. The walls seemed to close in around us, and the air grew thick with an oppressive presence. It felt as if the asylum itself was alive, feeding off our fear. In one particularly dimly lit hallway, a flickering light caught our attention. As we approached cautiously, a sudden burst of static filled the air. We covered our ears trying to block out the deafening noise. Then, in an instant, the lights went out, plunging us into darkness. With a pounding heart, I fumbled for my flashlight, desperately trying to find my friends in the pitch-dark hallway. Panic washed over me as I realized I was alone. The asylum had separated us, isolating each of us in its sinister grasp. With trembling hands, I ventured forward, the beam of my flashlight revealing glimpses of decaying walls and broken furniture. The silence was broken only by my ragged breaths and the distant sound of footsteps echoing through the corridors. Suddenly, a hand grabbed my shoulder, and I screamed in terror. I spun around to find one of my friends, equally frightened and disoriented. We clung to each other, seeking comfort in our shared fear. Together, we navigated through the labyrinthine halls of the asylum, encountering jump scares at every turn. Shadows danced along the walls, figures darted in and out of sight, and disembodied whispers filled our ears. The asylum was alive with malevolence. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we stumbled upon the exit. We burst through the doors, gasping for breath, as we were greeted by the cool night air. The asylum stood behind us, a haunting reminder of the horrors we had witnessed. As we walked away, our hearts still racing, We couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. The abandoned asylum had tested our courage, pushed us to our limits, and left an indelible mark on our souls. We had survived the nightmares within its walls, but we would never forget the terrors that awaited anyone foolish enough to enter its forsaken halls.